minions, welcome to Crank It Up. I'm Jim Price.
I'm Sarah Trager.
And I'm Eric.
And this is Point Salad, another one of the games from AEG's Big Game Night of 2019. Point Salad is a tableau building set collection game where you have a choice between taking point cards, which represent points, or the cards that will actually fulfill them in the vegetable cards. It's a quick game. It takes about 20 to 30 minutes depending on the player count, and we're going to show you how to play today. At the start of the game, depending on the player count, you're going to draw a certain amount of vegetables randomly. So there are 18 total cards, and depending on the player count, we've chosen 3, you're going to take a certain number of cards. In this case, you're going to take 9 onions, 9 tomatoes, and you're going to shuffle them together. It's very important that you select them randomly because each card is going to have a unique back. Each card is double-sided. There's going to be a point card that will show the formula for how it scores points. The point side will also have a vegetable in the corners, which will show you what the vegetable will be if the card gets flipped over. You're going to be scoring each point card that gets pulled into your tableau. The cards will stack, so if you have a card that is worth 2 points for every cabbage and 5 points for every 2 cabbages, you're going to score them both independently. So you'll get the same bonuses if you have cabbage, you'll also get the same penalties. For example, this card will score -1 point for cabbage, and you're going to score each of these independently. Your turn is very simple. You can do one of 2 things. You can either draw a point card on its point card side and add it to your tableau, or take 2 vegetable cards. If you take 2 vegetable cards, you'll fill them from their respective columns. So if I take these 2, I'm going to flip 1 from here and 1 from here. If I take these 2, I'm going to flip 2 from this column. The other bonus action that you can do at one point during the game is that you can flip over these point cards to the vegetable side. Once per turn, as a free action, you can flip over a card, but you can only do it once per turn. You can do this over successive turns, but if you're trying to play catch-up at the end, you may have missed your opportunity. So if a card is more valuable as a vegetable rather than a point card, you can flip it from point to vegetable. You cannot flip it from vegetable to point. That's the entirety of the game. The game will end when all the cards have been depleted. I'll go over what happens when one of these stacks is depleted, when that actually happens in the game. So we randomly selected Sarah to go first. She has a choice between taking a point card or a vegetable, or 2 vegetable cards.
I'm going to take this point card right here.
So I got a question. When you say flip, you can only flip them over there. You can't flip them in your own pile.
No, you flip them from your tableau.
On your tableau. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to take the 4 points for tomato, -2 points for cabbage and peppers.
I will take this complete set. I value diversity.
If I were to choose a vegetable, does it automatically flip?
Nope, flips at the
Okay.
end of your turn.
Well, I think I would like to have maybe
From your experience, Jim,
This one.
what has been the average cost or price
Actually,
or value at the end of the game?
it really depends on the cards because when these cards have a set circulation, there's going to be 9 of each. But you'll notice that one of the peppers is out of circulation, one of the cabbage is out of circulation. So since the point cards could be valuable in any particular way, there may not be as many in circulation as you think. So I'm going to go ahead and take 2 tomato cards, which is good for me because this is 8 points so far.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll flip them over like this.
Let's see. I will take these 2.
2 more onions will go out.
I'm going to take this onion because I don't want you to flip it back over and get all those tomato points.
But you are.
Should have looked at that.
I need to grab a tomato while I can, before Jim takes them all. I'll take this one, and take this one. Ah, another tomato.
It might be more valuable as a point card.
It might be, might not.
I will take that. Yes, thank you.
to take this point card. So this is, if you have an even number, must be at least 2, you'll get 7 points. If it's an odd number, you'll get 3 points. So you need to have at least 1 for it to score.
Take this one.
I am going to take these 2 onions. Thank you.
Definitely taking you. And
We're letting him win.
carrots are fine for me.
Okay.
Okay, I would like onions are really good for me, and I would like some cabbage, lettuce, and there's not any out there. So I would like this onion for sure. And I will also take, I suppose, this pepper.
And how many of each type are there?
9. I'm going to take this one.
Cool. I'll take these 2.
I'm going to take the fewest carrots point card, please. Thank you.
I'm going to take these 2 cabbage. So even though I have the -2 cabbage card, I also have the 4 cabbage card,
And cabbage is part of your +8.
but I need lettuce to do it.
Well, I want all the lettuce, so
Mm-hmm. Take these 2.
I'm going to take that lettuce over there, please. And I will take that pepper as well, please. You have tomatoes and cabbage, but you don't have any lettuce, but it doesn't matter because that one's going to come out one way or the other. So yeah, I'll take that one.
All right. So we're going to flip this. This stack is bigger. So I'm going to divide it roughly in half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, and then this will get flipped like this. So this card, the top card, did not change. That's pretty convenient. I got my first set.
Where's not how convenient, he said.
Are we allowed to look at, like, the cards you just flipped? Can we look at them, the backsides, before we take them?
Well, you know, it's up here.
No, the backside of these cards?
But you can't flip these over,
It
can you?
doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah, I suppose not.
Because there's 108 different cards.
I'll take this one, and I'll take this one.
So again, I think this pile is now bigger. This is 4. How many are on these?
Now it's more.
5.
Yep.
So like that.
Lettuce, please.
That would have been 16 points.
I know.
So we split that again, right? No, we
Yeah,
split.
we need to split another
This
one.
one's, how many is this one? This is 4, that's 3. This one. I think.
This is 8 points. So yeah, I'm going to take this and I'm going to flip it to its point side, to its vegetable side.
cabbage. It's all just cabbage.
So all lettuce is accounted for.
I have to take these two. I was
An onion gets me 3 points. Or I could get 2, or I could get...
You get that last tomato no matter what,
2.
aren't you?
I'm going to take this and flip it over, make it an onion.
Yep. You son of a...
Well, it's more about denying you 12 points.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, I just...
Yeah, but I had to think carefully about, because my last turn might hurt.
All right, so if I take that, that's worth 2. But if I take that, that's also worth 2. That is worth 1. It doesn't matter. So I will take, let's see, what do you want? You want purple cabbage. Well, there aren't any tomatoes.
This I can't do anymore.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter. All that matters is this. Only I don't want is cabbage.
Okay, I'll take these two then.
And then this would get flipped over. So this is a cabbage to you, Sarah.
Okay. I'll take a point.
All right, so now we're going to score all the cards independently. Starting with me, I get 4 points for tomatoes, and I have 6 tomatoes. That's 24. I lose 2 points for cabbage, and I have 4 of them, so that's -8. So 24 minus 8 is 16. But I'm going to get 4 points for cabbage, so I get another 16 back, so that is going to be 32. I don't have any peppers or onions. And this one, I'm going to get another 16, so my total score is 48.
48.
Okay, Eric?
Okay, so I got 12 for only one set of these because somebody stole all the tomatoes. I get another 10,
So it's 22.
so 22. I'm just going to cancel out these two with these 2 carrots.
So it's going to be plus
So that's 8
30.
plus another 3,
33.
33.
Okay, my turn?
Yep.
All right, so I have the fewest carrots, that's 7 points. I get 1 point for every pepper and onion, and so that's going to be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I get 5 points for every 2 lettuce I have, so that's 26, 36. And then
Oh,
I
hold
get...
on. 26, 36? No, it's a total of plus 10.
You're right.
So 26.
So 26. 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 37.
Okay.
Tomatoes. Yeah, nice. Well done.
Thanks.
Wait, but I thought I won. What did I have?
Don't worry about it.
I think you won.
Yeah, I thought I had 3 sets of 16 for 48 total points.
Yeah, all I needed was...
We'll have to rewind the tape.
But that is Point Salad. As I said, it's a very simple tableau building set collection game.
I like this one. I'm not entirely sure if it's the kind of game that I would want to play frequently, because it does feel like a tiny bit of a brain burner for me, especially because I feel like it's a game you can easily sort of min-max, and min-maxing for me is very laborious. But I think it's fun, and I think that it fills a niche that I don't really have a lot of games like this in my collection. So I think that's kind of nice.
Well, I hope it fills a niche because it's not going to be very satisfying because there's no meat.
So this is a good family game. I've seen a lot of families come in, and because it can support up to 6 players and has the cards to scale for it, that's a good size for a larger family to play in a game that still only takes 30 minutes or so with the number of players. Something that's interesting about it is flipping the point card. So sometimes you'll be looking at something and it's like, this is more valuable as a vegetable, so I'm going to take a chance on it, hoping that I'll luck into a second formula, only to end up flipping it, as I did, I think, twice during the game. Another thing that you'll notice is that you'll want to see whether or not how much quantity of something is left to see if something is even valuable, because it's like, oh, I've got one of these 2 pair cards, like you'll have carrots and onions, and Eric's got a lot of carrots, but does he have the onions to go with it? How many onions are left? So you're watching what other players are doing, you're making sure that this card will actually pay out. The diversification cards are kind of hard because it's really hard to avoid a point card that has negatives, and the diversification card rewards you for having one of everything, so that can mean taking a little bit of a negative. But if you do it right, it can work. But again, you don't know what scoring cards are in, because of the 18 or so cabbage, we only chose 9 of them. So we don't know exactly how the scoring is going to unfold over the course of the game.
There are how many cards? I think like 104, is that right?
I thought there were 108. It should be
okay.
18 per vegetable, so that's 54, 108.
Okay, so 108 cards means that there's 108 possible scoring combinations, which I think is just insane. I think that's the best feature of this game, is that there's 108 different ways to score in this game, and I think that's really cool.
So something that came up when I was teaching this at work, people thought, all right, what I'm going to do is they saw like these 4-point cards that are really good. So they're going to load up on a particular vegetable, and they're going to get that point card where it's worth 4 points per vegetable. But that card's not in the game. And even if it is, in a high player game, it could get flipped before it gets to you. So one of the things that my coworker, it was fun to watch. One of the things that my coworkers did was they started taking cards so that the point card would flip. So that way, it's like, I'm not going to take the point card. I'm going to manipulate the card so that you can't take the point card you want. It's now a useless vegetable. So that's a really fun caveat of the higher player counts.
I think that's one of the things that makes people think that this is kind of a mean game. But I think it's just calculating. I don't think it's necessarily mean. I think it's just calculating.
I think mean is okay when the game plays 20 minutes. So
yeah, it's not like you wasted 6 hours and then suddenly they keep avoiding you and you never actually catch them, Doug.
Someone had said that they think that this is going to be a Sushi Go killer. And I'm curious to see how that unfolds. I don't know if that's necessarily accurate, but I think that it's definitely on par with Sushi Go for me, as far as like the level of interest I have in each game, and like I think the overall complexity levels and approximate play times and player counts and things like that. It's all fairly even, I think.
I don't think it's going to be a Sushi Go killer, because Sushi Go, although you don't know how the cards are going to come in, because you're drawing random cards every round, but the cards are fundamentally different in the way that they score, and they always score the same. When this is a tomato, you don't know if they're going to be tomato scoring cards in the deck. So this, I would say, is more of a speculation game. The game it reminds me of is Veggie Garden, actually.
Okay, yeah.
And not just because they're both vegetable games, where Veggie Garden is, again, you can either increase the value of a vegetable, or you can increase the quantity of the vegetable, and you're going to get the multiplier of the two. Yeah. But every time you increase the value of it, you take one out of circulation, which means that you've got to balance the two.
I actually, now that you've made that comparison, I totally see that, and I would way rather play this than Veggie Garden, I think.
I think this is simpler. There are things I like about Veggie Garden, particularly the different powers and the variability that gives you, but it's harder to explain.
Yeah.
The other game, and you're going to kill me for this, that this reminds me of is Cat Lady.
Yes, because you have things that lay out from a stack, and then it gets replenished from that stack when you take it. I get it. We played it once.
My point is that
I've played it a lot, but I'm waiting to see what he says. Why he thinks it's similar to Cat Lady?
because Cat Lady has a lot of cats where you're gonna take the cat, but you have no idea if you're ever gonna see the food for that cat. So similarly, you're taking a point card, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna take this for cabbage, but I don't necessarily have cabbage yet. I may not see any.
Okay, all right, I'll accept it.
And there's a penalty for failure
Yeah.
in Cat Lady.
Yeah.
So this, I think, kind of streamlines that as well. Now, Cat Lady is a light game, also by AEG, but
I don't know.
Now I'm trying to decide if I think I would rather play this or Cat Lady. And that is an interesting comparison of the games. I can totally see your point. But I do feel like they feel like very different games.
Right.
I mean, as long as you avoid the negatives on that one, there is no penalty, though.
Well, some positives here. This is a net positive. A lot of times people will be like, "Oh, I don't want this card because it has negatives on it," or they'll overlook a card because now all of a sudden cabbage is good for me. There's overlap here, so I really need to avoid peppers. That's why I was worried at the end, and it took me so long to figure out what I wanted to do, because it's like, how do I guarantee that I'm not taking peppers? Because then each pepper is going to be -4 points, and then if I end up taking 2, that's -8. And that, depending on whatever the score was, I don't remember what the score was, that could have been the difference in the game.
I think this game is a little bit more complex than Cat Lady. Because you have the ability to flip over these cards and decide how they're going to come out from the draw piles and things like that. I don't think players can manipulate things as much in Cat Lady as you can in this game. And for that reason alone, I think that this is more complex than Cat Lady. But not in a bad way at all.
But this game has been highly regarded so far. It was in the Hot Games section at Dice Tower Con. Numerous people put it on their list of games to watch out for in Gen Con. And it's got a very low MSRP.
I think it's like $15, right?
I thought it was 20.
Okay, it might be 20.
$20 for a game that plays up to 6 players and you can play with your family is certainly a bargain. So this game is also coming out like the other games in September. I know it's already on pre-order on Amazon, so that's Point Salad. Be sure to keep an eye out for it.
And that is a lettuce wrap.